Welcome to That's Good Sports. I am Brandon Perna, new friend of Packers running back A.J. Dillon, and today I've got a really great show for you. Much better than my normal NFL news episodes. Truly, today is not like that normal crap I peddle here. There's a major update on the Joe Mixon shooting situation. Sauce Gardner gets wild with his Aaron Rodgers recruitment pitch.
Hey, Rod, man, let's make this happen, man. This is me talking now. I ain't playing no games no more. I'm not playing no more. I was playing at first. I'm not playing no more. You see it in my face. I need you to lock in. I need you to come here so we can win the Super Bowl.
The 49ers get positive news on QB Brock Purdy's elbow, and we have quite possibly the greatest roasting of a sports official in the history of sports. Let's do it all today on That's Good Sports. Please subscribe here. It's free. Not free is my coffee over at BenchwarmerBrew.com. This is the Loser's Blend, which is a limited release, so once the Loser's Blend is gone, it's gone. But that's a great way you can support this channel. Also on Patreon, patreon.com/thatsgoodsports, or your YouTube memberships. For all $10 donors, we do a monthly Zoom hangout. And if you guys are into it, maybe I'll add a Discord link as well, but you gotta let me know if that's something you want. Now this has nothing to do with the NFL, but this is the funniest video I've seen online anywhere in a while.
Get out of the truck! Get out of the truck, little lady!
No, I'm good.
See, because you know you lose.
How do I lose?
Because I will beat your fucking dick into the ground all day long.
That's kind of gay, isn't it?
I will beat your dick. Dude, how about?
The smile at the end when he knows he got.
I will beat your dick. Dude, how about?
And everyone with the Sammy Hagar, Van Hagar references on Twitter, God bless you. Dads across America are pleased with that on-the-nose reference.
Van Halen, not Van Hagar.
Now, beating your opponent's dick into the ground does indeed work 100% of the time. And I commend this man's fighting style, and I honestly hope he challenges Jake Paul to an official dick boxing match. Now, my favorite band, not named Led Zeppelin, is Greta Van Fleet, so it makes sense that my favorite NBA player, not named Nikola Jokic, is now Fred Van Fleet. Here's Van Fleet going as hard as I've ever seen a player go in on the officials.
Ben Taylor was fucking terrible tonight. I thought that on most nights, a couple of the, out of the three, there's one or two that just fucked the game up. And it's been like that a couple games in a row. Third quarter, I get a bullshit tech, changes the whole dynamic of the game, changes the whole flow of the game. And, most of the refs are trying hard. I like a lot of the refs are trying hard. They're pretty fair. They communicate well. And then you got the other ones who just want to be dicks and just kind of fucks the game up. Nobody's coming to see that shit.
And I now support Van Fleet to win MVP over Jokic, and I'm almost considering giving him all of my super chats to help pay for part of that $30,000 fine the NBA gave him after that rant. Jets corner Sauce Gardner now has a YouTube channel, and after debuting his first video, he along with running back Breece Hall and receiver Garrett Wilson burned the cheesehead that Sauce wore on Lambeau Field after the Jets beat the Packers last season. Now, this was an attempt to convince Aaron Rodgers to come play with the Jets.
Hey, I need this touch, bro. I need the touch. I need the touch. Hey, I need your. Hey, I need the touch. The touch of the cheese. Hey, when this go in there, this motherfucker gonna turn to cheese sauce. Come on. Oh. Yeah.
Damn, it's gone.
It's gone, man. It's gone, bro. Gone, man. Ain't nothing we can do. Look at the cheese. It's melting. It's turning to cheese sauce, bro. Look.
Jets fans are applauding the effort by the young stars on the team to lure Rodgers to New York. Packers fans are saying this is the most disrespectful use of fire in the NFL since Lisa Left Eye Lopez burned down Falcons receiver Andre Rison's house. Now this is odd, but a hilarious recruitment pitch, and I'm curious to see if it works. And we should know maybe today, maybe Saturday, maybe Sunday, but hopefully definitely by Monday. right? Jets and Packers and NFL fans. Until then, though, you can check out what Packers running back A.J. Dillon thought about it while we talked to him on this morning's episode of GPS. And don't forget to subscribe to AJ's channel. We got to get him to 5,000 subs by the end of the weekend. Shannon Sharpe takes a page out of my playbook and drops an F-bomb on First Take or Undisputed, whatever the hell the show is called when you have to tolerate Skip Bayless for 3 hours. Actually, maybe that show should just be called Survivor. What tripped up Shannon Sharpe, though? What got him so hot he said the big F word? Another LeBron versus Jordan debate? Skip's hot takes about athletes nearly dying? Chiefs fans slandering John Elway? No. It's food.
If I'm making fried chicken and somebody says, I got some chocolate for you, what the hell? Yeah, I like chocolate, but what the fuck I'm sorry. You got to be able to curse this, Skip. Okay. Why would I need chocolate to go with fried chicken?
Okay, well.
I hope nobody tells Sharpe about peanut butter on hamburgers. The Philadelphia Eagles would, or may be the first NFL team to get to a Super Bowl and then not have enough defenders to field the team the following season. In addition to their massive list of impending free agents, apparently star corner Darius Slay and his agent Drew Rosenhaus have been given permission to seek a trade. Now, I'm sure this has nothing to do with the team's interest in former Lions coach Matt Patricia, who Slay has been very public about criticizing. Philly hired Clayton Adams and not Patricia, but the fact that they even thought about it is bad enough. The good news is that defensive lineman Brandon Graham has agreed to return on a very friendly one-year deal at $6 million. But if Slay is actually traded, the Eagles, at least for this season, could be fucked on defense? Slay is one of the best corners in the game. Plus, the corner opposite of Slay, James Bradbury, along with safety/slaughter CJ Gardner-Johnson, also set to hit free agency. That's possibly 3 key losses just in the secondary. Javon Hargrave, who had 12 sacks last season and was second on the team in QB pressures, could be gone. Basically, 7 of the 12 players who took the most snaps last season for the Philly D could leave via free agency. Now, some of those guys could be back. For example, if Slay is traded, because apparently he wants more money, the Eagles could move the guy who accounts for the most money on their team next year. Slay is slated to make $26 million. So if you're wondering why Philly has said you can seek a trade if you want more money, it's because he's literally making more money than anyone on the team this upcoming season. Now, they could sign back 3 to 4 of those key defenders if Slay goes, and that might actually not be a bad move. Brock Purdy was finally able to undergo elbow surgery after swelling subsided enough to make the operation safe. This was kind of a make or break window for Purdy and the surgery in terms of his ability to be ready for the upcoming season, the start of the season. Purdy underwent a UCL repair with an internal brace put in there and avoided Tommy John surgery. Now, Tommy John surgery would have probably kept him out for all of 2023, but with this repair, he can resume throwing the football in 3 months and should have no limitations in roughly 6 months. And in 9 months, well, he'll become a post-human cyborg that enforces the law with a titanium fist. Now, this doesn't guarantee Purdy will be ready to go week 1, but he shouldn't miss more than, say, 1 or 2 games, assuming that there are no setbacks in his recovery, and that's not guaranteed. This is obviously great news for the 49ers, who may have had to consider signing a veteran free agent QB in case Purdy wasn't good to go. The bad news for Purdy is the 49ers got 7 comp picks for this upcoming draft. Some teams don't have 7 total picks. And if anyone can find Purdy's replacement in rounds 3 to 7 with 7 extra picks, it's the 49ers. He was famously a flyer as the last pick in the draft. The only place they wouldn't be able to find his replacement, of course, is in the first round, in the top 10 picks. All right, the main story today, the big update, Joe Mixon. Wednesday, I made a video about the shooting that occurred around the Joe Mixon residence. At the time, we did not know if Joe Mixon was home when the shooting happened or if the teenager injured was indeed shot. but the headline at the time was essentially teen boy injured after shooting at Joe Mixon's home. Well, it turns out the teen did indeed suffer a gunshot wound to the foot, and when he arrived at the hospital, the bullet was still in his foot. The big update, though, is that Joe Mixon is not a suspect, but his sister, Shalonda Mixon, is one of 2 suspects in the incident that occurred at Mixon's home on Monday. Now let me backtrack for a bit, because when I made the video on Wednesday, the way the news articles made it sound, it was almost like the boy wasn't injured by the gunshot, or at least they were unsure. The reports essentially stated that a gun was fired several times and a kid was injured, but that they could not confirm if it was a gunshot wound. They also described the injury he sustained as not serious or minor. If I had a fucking bullet in my foot, I wouldn't call that a minor injury. I'd say that's one of the most significant injuries I've ever had. If I ever have a bullet in my foot, you better be sending me flowers and calling me a hero on Twitter. Unless I like Plaxico Burress my foot, then please roast me. So I need to apologize for not handling the story on Wednesday with as much sensitivity to his injury as I did. Had I known he had a bullet in his foot, I probably would not have used as many clips from those retro Nerf commercials as much.
Don't you get it? It's Nerf or nothing.
No, again, not appropriate timing. Just stop doing that. Now to recap, teens were having a Nerf war in Mixon's neighborhood, and someone from the Mixon residence shot at the teens because they supposedly thought the kids had real guns. 2 of the kids playing the game told police that a 16-year-old boy ran alongside Mixon's house with a Nerf-style toy gun, at which time a real weapon was fired. The shots, according to reports, allegedly came from Mixon's backyard, and the 2 suspects, Shalonda Mixon and Lamonte Brewer, left the home after the shooting occurred. Mixon's trainer, Sean Pena, was the person who actually called the police, and I have to assume it's because he thought the gunshots he heard were coming from the kids outside and not the 2 other people who had been in the home with him.
Sitting next door to the house, there were some kids that were blocking off, there were 3-4 cars blocking off the road, and one kid was running around brandishing a weapon. He went back to his car, and it looked like it was a fake weapon, but then I kept watching, and then he was screaming something, and he went back to his car and he pulled out another weapon. It looked like a Kel-Tec or something, and ran up the back driveway of this house that he's been going up and down, and said, "Fuck yeah!" And then all of a sudden you heard him running down there, and you heard pop, 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 and then the 3 other cars sped off. Now there's 1 car back that's leaving in a quick fashion, and a Jeep that's still sitting out front.
No use of drugs were reported, but in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, my imagination, the only way you could be paranoid enough to go and grab a real gun and shoot at kids with Nerf guns is because you think they have real guns, is if you are on
The weed.
Exactly. Again, it's my guess, this has not been reported, this is me speculating. But you gotta be high as fuck to make that mistake. And at this point, these are allegations. We will see if Mixon's sister and Mr. Brewer are charged by the police, but it looks like one of them could be responsible for shooting a kid for playing. Never something you wanna have on your resume. Unless you're Ja Morant, or maybe Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern from Home Alone.
What I'm gonna do is bite off every one of these little fingers, one at a time.
And even they were just gonna eat off Macaulay Culkin's fingers. God, I miss the 90s.
I will beat your dick. Dude, how about?
Thanks for watching That's Good Sports. Please subscribe here on YouTube. Don't forget I'm on Twitter at Brandon Perna. And if you want to get Sauce Gardner on GPS next week, start chatting at him on Twitter. Tom and I have invited Sauce Gardner to join us.